Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video, I'm showing you the latest drawing I did in Procreate. And the inspiration for this drawing, I kind of stole the idea from Drawing with Waffles. Last year she made a couple videos drawing characters based on food. I think she did one on like peppermint bark and like gingerbread cookies. So I'm stealing that idea, but I'm doing my favorite snack, cherry turnovers. And I thought the cherry filling and the powdered sugar, like the red and the white, was nice and holiday themed a little bit. And I also want this video to be part one of a little two-part type of thing. So in this video, I'm showing you how I draw the picture, and then in next week's video, I want to show you how I animate in Procreate. So that'll be fun. So I'm starting out here. I have my rough sketch on a separate layer with the opacity turned down, and I'm just doing a cleaner sort of line art layer on top. I'm gonna end up, it's not gonna show in the end, so I'm just cleaning up my lines so I know where to put my colors. And this drawing, it's a little bit different than I've been doing lately. I did not use a reference. I kind of drew it out of my head with what I've been learning from looking at reference photos lately. And I feel like I've been changing the way I draw things lately. So like I talked in my last video, I don't really draw like the eye bags on girls, and I decided to include those in today's drawing. And I also don't really like, I don't know why, I feel like it's unnatural to see someone from like a head-on type of angle. I prefer 3/4 angles, but I decided to make this one head-on, and it's just easier because I wasn't using a reference to do that out of my head. So I've got my clean line art layer, and then I'm gonna make a layer underneath that, and I'm gonna start laying in my flat colors. And I thought the cherry turnover was also a good idea because the flaky crust, whatever you want to call it, is like a good skin tone color. So I felt like it kind of related in that way. And here I'm just changing the background to a different color because sometimes I feel like looking at the skin tone against white, you're not really, it looks a lot darker than you think it is. So I like to change the background color. And then here I'm taking a darker version of that skin tone, and I'm just adding in the shadows. And I'm really happy. This drawing was really fun, and I felt like it went very smoothly. I didn't have a lot of hiccups. I felt like my coloring and my blending went a lot better than normal. So that added to me. I really like how it came out, and I feel like just because it was so easy and I wasn't having a lot of trouble, I'm very happy with this drawing. So yep, I'm just adding in the shadows here, and then I'm going to, I think I switch to an airbrush and just kind of soften those out, and then after this I will take the smudge tool and just blend them even further. So I'm just softening up her cheeks here. I feel like I've also been learning too, like where to lay the shadows. I like the shadows on the sides of the noses, and then like halfway across, like to the middle of the eye, kind of darken it up and show some depth in there. Oh, and I like this drawing. I feel like, you guys, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Oh, we're finally getting snow where I live, and that's so fun. Christmas, we've been playing the Hallmark Channel at our house a lot, and I love watching Christmas movies. This is weird, but I really like Christmas commercials. I feel like watching Christmas commercials is like the ultimate holiday. Like, Christmas commercials are on, you know it's Christmas time, and that's like my favorite. I don't know, that's weird. I just like Christmas commercials. Here I'm adding in her like blush on her cheeks and her nose. Just a couple extra colors in her skin. I feel like that's one of the things that made it easier, was because I don't know if my colors are too different, or I just have too many colors I try and add in, and it just becomes like a huge mess and it doesn't look good. So I tried to like simplify my coloring process a little bit. And then here you can see I'm adding in that inner corner highlight, which I feel like I don't normally draw that often. I guess I draw the inner corner highlight, but I don't like blend it out down into the cheeks how I did in this one. And I really like how that came out. I'll add, you'll see here in a second, I added some highlights that I really don't normally draw, but I feel like they're so easy, and it's just like that little bit of like extra detail, like you don't even notice what it is, but it just makes your drawing look better. Here I'm adding a highlight on the nose, and then I'm highlighting that little thing between your nose and your lips. And then what I don't normally do is like these right here, like on the corner of the mouth, and also like along the nostrils. I feel like that just gives it just that little like extra spice. I don't know, it just makes it look better. I kind of blend it out. You can't really tell. I'm filming my iPad screen and it kind of changes. You can't see as much contrast, as well as it kind of changes the color. You'll see here in a second. I'll change to, I took a couple screen recordings. You'll see the color is very, very different in those. Okay, and then here I'm drawing in the whites of the eyes. That's another thing I felt like I did differently. I drew her eyes like much squintier. But anyways, to color in the whites of the eyes, I'm taking a bluish gray, a really light bluish gray, and I just color in the whole thing. And then on the corners of the eyes and under like where her eyelid would create a shadow, I go in with like a little bit of a darker gray. And then I take a lighter gray just for a little bit more contrast so the eyes really pop and look nice and round. And then I make sure my layer is alpha locked, and then I'm just gonna Gaussian blur that, and I just feel like that little extra, like it just adds so much depth. It makes the eyes look rounder, having it that nice gradient instead of just one flat color. Here I'm just adding some like makeup detailing or eyeliner. I don't know what that is. And then I'm giving her some eyebrows here. I'm just drawing in kind of like the shape of them. I'm not doing the individual hairs yet. She just looked super creepy without eyebrows, so I thought I should go ahead and add those in. And then here's where I started. I knew I wanted her lips to be like the cherry filling of the turnover, is like my main inspiration, and I was a little bit afraid to go in with that red color at first. I don't know why I like lowered the opacity of my brush, but I'm like, nope, you need to go for it. It's got to look like cherry turnover, so just get used to looking at it. So I went in and I added that red, and I looked at my reference of my cherry turnovers to really get like the coloring right, and I noticed in like I guess like the lighter areas, it kind of hue shifts to like this yellowy orange. I guess it's like where the filling isn't as thick. You can see it kind of gets like a warmer color to it. So I made sure I added this orange in here. And then you'll see here, you can really see how much different it looks like my actual drawing versus like the recording of my iPad. Like it's so much darker. But I'm adding in that like orange for the highlights. I think I even go maybe a little bit more yellowy. And then I also noticed, looking at my reference, the shadowy colors were a lot cooler, like purple tones. So I added those in like the corners and around the edges. And I feel like just looking at, like I wouldn't have thought that if I wasn't looking at a reference, like of the cherry turnovers. So I feel like that just brought it that extra step farther. And then I've been really happy with how I've been drawing like the teeth showing lately. I feel like it's very similar to the eyes. I go in with like a flat light grayish blue color, and then I darken it up around like the corners of the mouth, and I really like how that looks. I feel like I notice when I do look at references how dark it gets in there, so I feel like I could have even gone darker in the corners of the mouth. But then again, I make sure that layer is set on alpha lock, and then I just blur the whole thing like so. And then I'm taking a light, I think I color pick from that. I just pick a nice light gray to indicate the teeth. And here's where in the past I've gone, you really do not want to go that dark. Like just the slightest indication that she has individual teeth it makes it nice and realistic. If you get too dark in there, it just starts looking scary, and like she has scary gap teeth. Not even like gap teeth, it just, I don't know, it just doesn't look right. So going nice and light, I like how that came out. And then I decided I was going to give her brown eyes just to keep with the turnover color scheme, I guess. I don't know why I thought blue or green wouldn't fit that, so I just left them brown. I feel like I really don't draw brown eyes that often. But I do like how her brown eyes came out, and I thought I was recording part of like her eyes finishing getting colored, and I started drawing her hair, but apparently I was not recording. But to do her hair, I just lay in a flat color, and I gave her blonde hair because, again, I thought that fit the color scheme. But I just flat color in the hair, and then I'll take like a kind of a bigger brush and lay in like the general shapes and like the hair flow, and then I'll gradually reduce my brush size and start adding in like more detail, and like I get smaller and smaller until you're just drawing like the individual hairs. So and another thing too, you don't need like the individual hairs don't need to be like all over, just a few spots just to indicate that they're hair. I feel like doing the small brush all over kind of, I don't know, it takes like, it gives your eyes too much to look at. I don't know. But I use obviously a darker brush in the shadowy areas, and then a lighter where I want the highlights to be. And I just go in, add some individual hairs here and there. And this is a little bit difficult. When I started the detailing, I had this one piece that's kind of in front. I detailed that more. And then I was trying to go in, I made a new layer and was trying to go in behind it to get that stuff. So I like nice big strokes, make it look like natural and flowy when you're trying to just draw like a line from one section down to the, like keeping it in between that one piece of hair and then her shoulders or whatever. It can get kind of stiff looking, so I just made a new layer, and then I like erase where that one piece of hair is, and I just erase the parts I don't need. Just keep everything nice and flowy looking. So I've got some detail in here, and then I like to, when I'm still on that small brush, I like to add in some little flyaways around the edges. I think that makes it look, it just takes it another step above, more natural, and I think that also adds to the flowiness. Add some in by her neck. I think that's so fun and just relaxing to do, adding those in. And then here I wanted to make those two front pieces of her hair red, just because I thought she wasn't looking like a cherry turnover type of girl. She just looked like a girl with red lipstick. So I wanted to color those two in. And then here I colored it in, and then I'm just going to play with the different blending modes till I find something that I like. I think I was going back and forth. I thought that pin light looked really good, but I think in the end I ended up going with hard light, and then I lowered the opacity a little bit. I almost went with soft light, but then I thought it was too pink, and I wanted it to look red still, but I didn't want it to look, I want to use the word natural, but obviously not natural, but I wanted it to look still like hair. So like once I got that in, I made a new layer, and I just color picked from her lips again, and I just went over and added some more details in that like red color. I really like adding those details up by the roots of the hair, and like just making the roots of the hair darker. I feel like looks more natural, and not even natural, but like more detailed, and like gives you something to look at. And then here again, I'm just adding a few more flyaways with that red color. And I really like this one flyaway. I wanted to keep it like over her eye, but I know when I go to animate this, I'm going to want to make her blinking, and if that's there, it's just going to be kind of hard to like work around. So I kept going back and forth, like trying to see if I could add it in somehow without it being in the way, but I don't think that stayed. And then here I'm messing with the background. I'm just adding a couple different shades of blue and then like blending them together. I wanted this piece to be kind of like a full illustration, but I definitely like took a cop out on the background. I just added some trees and blurred it, but I think once we animate it, I want to add some like falling snow. It'll look good. It'll look finished enough. A complete illustration. Add some little happy little trees. I drew evergreens again to keep with the Christmas holiday type theme. And then I just blur those out. And then I guess I forgot to record this again. I wanted to give her those like white freckly I guess I'm calling them freckles, but I'm just trying to show like the powdered sugar on the cherry turnovers. I thought would be like cute little white freckle details. And then here I'm going in with a purple color like I always do and just drawing in the shadows. And I'm gonna set that layer to multiply and turn down the opacity a little bit. And then also I'm going in with the smudge tool. I'm keeping some edges a nice crisp, like hard line, and then some I'm like using the smudge tool and just blending them out a little bit. And then here, oh my gosh, I love this part. I'm giving her eyelashes finally. And I was kind of also saving those for the end because I want them to be on their own layer because like I said, we're going to be animating that and making them blink. So I kind of saved those for the end. But I'm just like following the curve of her eye. Oh my gosh, I love that part. I feel like the drawing just comes together and she looks so much more feminine once you give her the eyelashes. Give her some bottom lashes. And then some extra lip shine. And I believe those are the last little details. This is the final drawing. I just want to thank you guys so much for watching. This drawing was so fun. And make sure you tune in next week and watch me animate this. Bye guys.